Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal Peace Love Music with another DeOrganized update coming to you live on Bitcoin Live decentralized broadcasting. And there's a couple of things I just wanted to touch on today. We always have our regular stuff. I'm hugely bullish on the Stacks ecosystem, and I'm very bullish on the Bitcoin space in general and crypto. Actually, I think that I'm not a chain maxi. I do think that Bitcoin's the where it's at, and the development on Bitcoin is going to be the biggest story for this cycle. But there's a lot of people. Several people asked me already today whether I watched the debate last night between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and what I think. And I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch it because I don't think that we have a fair choice mechanism. I think that the current system is very dominated top down. That's exemplified in the fact that we only have two parties, which the idea that a nation of 400 million people is represented by two parties that bring in this tremendous amount of money from corporate influences before any candidates are actually even displayed to the people to choose from is in and of itself obvious that we don't really have a choice in governance. We are dictated to as to who our options are, who we can support. And if you've ever actually had any experience at the local level, it's very hard for any kind of alternate party to get any traction. They're treated differently. The rules are very convoluted to make it hard for any legitimate challenge to the establishment of either party that exists. So while I do appreciate that there are arguments for and or against both candidates, my basic perspective is that we don't really have a fair choice system, and anyone supporting either candidate right now is usually doing so as a reaction to the perception of how bad the other candidate is, and not based on any actual values that candidate is promoting. And that's not necessarily entirely fair either. I do see that there's definitely some advantages towards one of these candidates than the other. One of the candidates seems to be less backed by the establishment. In fact, one of them seems to be a bigger threat to the established ruling class. And the other one seems to be very much more in bed with and or kind of just a surrogate for the established ruling class. And I don't have to explain which one I think is which, because it's obvious to everybody. But the one that is propped up as the anti-establishment candidate is hard to support also. There's a lot of things about that candidate that makes it hard to be excited about them. It's more like just kind of desperation, like I hope he wins, because I'm concerned about what happens and continues in the direction we're in right now if that candidate doesn't win, and we just kind of continue forward with the current ruling establishment, which is what the options are right now. But this is why I am excited about the Stacks ecosystem and building future functionality on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin ethos and the fundamentals behind it: decentralization, open source, censorship resistance. I don't know if you guys understand what's going on in Europe right now, but a friend of the show, Graham DePenrose, who has his own show on Bitcoin Live, and you should definitely check him out. He's in Ireland right now. They're about to start arresting people for putting content on social media that is critical of the government, or critical of government policies. And that's scary as hell. The idea that the government is beyond reproach and we can't criticize our government is, like a last step before we are enduring tyranny. And if we don't stand up now, it's going to be a lot harder to stand up when it's criminalized behavior to just point out things that the government's doing wrong. So it's very important what's being built here, because what's being built on Bitcoin affords self-custody. People use the word sovereignty a lot, and I'm not necessarily in love with that term, but I think self-ownership, self-custody means not just owning your assets, but controlling yourself. You own yourself. You're not owned by society. And I come to that conclusion from a first principles perspective. Government cannot exist without people, but people can exist without governance or government. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to government or governance existing. I'm just establishing the relationship and what the preeminent position is. The individual is more important than the governing apparatus for society, because without individuals, there is no society. So the individual comes first. We have to protect the rights of the individual, the interests of the individual, the self-ownership and self-custody of the individual, and the capacity to exchange words, exchange ideas, exchange goods and services. That's all fundamental human behavior. And that's the opportunity exists before us right now to build rails for a better system, a means of ensuring or establishing a more consent-based governing system, a more consent-based way to organize our society and build our societal structures. And it doesn't have to come as an opposition to the establishment. It just has to come as building up these mechanisms so that we can start engaging in consensual ways and take over some of the responsibilities that have been centralized into our massive bloated governing apparatuses, which are very corrupted. The amount of money that's spent on winning elections isn't paid for by the people to ensure that their policies are that the policies put in place are in their interests, but it's spent by special interests looking to garner favor among our elected representatives. That's the basic definition of corruption. It's a codified corruption mechanism pretending at being a democratic republic. And it's not even a democratic republic in other countries that are supposed to be free. That's what, when I was a kid, the United States represented the free world. They called it the free world. And that was the world that was open and available. And we don't have that anymore. There are a lot of privileges. There are a lot of, if you're in the right situation and you're in the right circumstances. And I believe that. So I truly believe that he that does not rule himself is destined to be ruled by others. And you got to control yourself. You got to have your own set of values. You got to be principled in your actions. You got to be a good actor and non-aggressive. And that's really where I find the point of the point of friction is where we get where aggression happens. If I'm doing my thing and I come across somebody else and we have an exchange and our exchange is between us and it's beneficial to the two of us, and no one's being harmed by that exchange, legitimately harmed. Not talking about they lost out on the deal because we made a deal. That's not harm. That's do better next time with your deal. But harmed like, we're agreeing to do this, but we're creating some excess harmful materials and we're dumping that in a public reservoir. Well, that's an aggressive action. Then we're causing harm. We're not being peaceful actors at that point. And I think that there are ways to build up structures to address that without having everyone staring down the barrel of a gun being dictated to how we have to act. I think we can evolve past that. And I think that the mechanisms for that are evolving in the blockchain. So that's why more than anything else is what I'm involved in this space for. I see the future of humanity and the capacity for a better social organization system being built up around the rails of crypto. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm so involved in this community. And then, well, that's what brought me here. What's kept me here in the stack space specifically, and in the overall Bitcoin space, I have a lot of ordinals friends too, but I really love what's being done in the stacks community, the people involved, the hero gamers, the good kitties, the Jack Bin switches, the Brendan Hadfields, the Gordons. I don't know Gordon's last name, Stacks Australia. And I was on their show this morning, and Hamish, and there's all sorts of people. I was just talking to Blockface Michael and Crypt, Tales from Crypt, and the Syndicate guys in their morning show. And there's just some really smart people and great people and good people that are looking to foster growth amongst many various forms in the community. And so that's why I'm here. That's what I love about it. Happy hump day. DeOrganized space at noon today. We have the Node Rock giveaway. We're giving away Node Rock number 9911. Tune in. There's still if you shared the space, or there's still time to share the space and follow the rules. There's a tweet out there broadcasting the giveaway. If you share that and you come in the space today, you might have a chance to win. It's a really cool Node Rock and Cursed Mutant. We have the Node Rocks coming in to chat with us about the project and what all of the cool things that they built there. Jack Bin Switch may be coming on to talk about that with us too. I'm not sure if he's having some technical difficulties today because of the storm. I also have Reese Swanepoel. I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong because we talked about it, but I don't think we ever got a straight answer on it, or I didn't remember. Tremendous artist, came in through the D Grants program. Been doing a lot with he's actually part of the Stacks Link program as well. He's going to be coming on to chat about his project. And Crypto Landy, who, if you're not familiar with Landy in the space, really cool dude, very, very, very adept at technical analysis and giving some information as to what he thinks price action is going to be. Not financial advice, but he gives some really good insights into what might be going on with the price action in the space. And he's going to come on, and he's also doing some really cool stuff with some meme tokens and interesting stuff there. So Landy's going to come on, and going to be a great show. Tomorrow we actually have the DeOrganized podcast with Rosar is going to come on and talk about what he's building on Charisma. We got Mr. Wolf from the Spaghetti Punks, OG friend of mine. I love the Spaghetti Punks. I love the art and the cool stuff that they've built up over there. And friend of the show, you guys all know him, GPSC, Gigapepe, Spaceship Club. He's going to come on and talk about his MemoBot project, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's also on Charisma right now, minting on Charisma. So we're going to be chatting with them on Bitcoin Live on our podcast with DeOrganized on Thursday. So don't miss that. You all have a blessed day. Keep working, but also be aware that things aren't a dichotomy. It's not just one or the other, and we have to pick one and love it. Don't give your full support you can hold your nose and vote for whoever you want to vote for whatever reason you want to vote for, or abstain. Maybe withhold your vote until they give you something to earn it. I'm not saying don't vote. I'm saying consider withholding your vote in certain races, maybe until the system gives you someone to vote for. And show love to each other. Be open-minded. Have conversations with people, not not in a battle to show them how virtuous you are and how bad they are, but have conversations with people that support the other side, and just ask them what it is, not in a contentious way. Ask them what it is that they like about that candidate. Maybe there are things that one candidate that you're opposed to supports that you actually can also get behind. And that's how you find a common ground with the person you're having a conversation with. You're not approving of the candidate. You're building a common ground conversation with the people that you're actually engaging in. And that's important. We're not all against each other. We have far more in common than we oppose each other on. So be open-minded. Get into conversations with an open mind. You're not trying to win. We're not winning an election in a conversation on social media. But you might make some friends and realize that you have some commonalities to build a relationship on. Gonna cut myself off there. I love doing this. I love that my community is actually listening to me and just interested in what I have to say about it. Oh, let me read the Stacks calendar. I almost forgot. The calendar for the day. We actually have Stacks Down Under, the Stacks Australia space. That's at 6 a.m. every Wednesday. So check them out. I was in there. Some great conversations this morning. I think Staxy and Dave have their show, I think at 9:30. It's not on the calendar, so they're actually going to be going soon. I think you guys might have just gotten a rare appearance of Mrs. Peace Love running through the shop. I don't know. She's getting through her morning activities. Staxy and Dave, BFF Dave, have their show. I think it's at 9:30, so that's on today. We have our DeOrganized space at noon Eastern time. 1 o'clock is the Clarity Collective meetup. Stax's Explorer Lounge is at 2 o'clock today. I think that's going to be on her regular scheduled time. I know she had to do a different time last week. And then we have Building on Bitcoin with Bitflow at 3 p.m. today. So check those out. Y'all have a blessed day. Show each other love. Be good to each other. Keep working hard. And we'll see you.